around the radar where it literally sees nothing. Well, I'm gonna go grab some chicken noodle soup here real quick. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So that's a nice birthday present for my mom.
What would be that?
These storms.
Oh, jeez.
Today's her birthday.
Where's she live?
Northeast Iowa.
Oh, do they have some weather up there too?
You know, there's something going on south. Nice birthday present for my mom. Like the Quad Cities area, and then it kind of extends up into Chicago. Rodney, put your radar up. Streamer screen. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. So the problem that I'm seeing here, and I'm getting my I'm getting audio settings right, so we aren't bad. There.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yes. Yeah, that looks good. And that purple is a tornado warning in Del Rio, right?
Yeah, it appears to be. Let me zoom out just a minute. Kenny County, South Central Texas. West Central, Uvalde County until 9:30. So that means the tornado warning. So it may have dissipated if it's until 9:30. We'll have to see if they're going to continue or they're going to move it into the next county. Severe thunderstorm capable of Bracketville moving east at 35 miles an hour.
Well, we lost Cade. He had to go on a fire call.
Yeah, COVID call, I think he said.
Yeah. So, he's down there about near where I went to see that Christmas train, that Kansas City Southern Christmas train, which is...
Do you need the overhead light on?
Yeah, because it washes me out whenever I...
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to turn something on.
Okay, you can.
I think the cameras are fine.
You think you want to try to turn with the light off?
No, don't worry about it, because it's not... With that Skype app, it seems like it only picks up the feed that... the little window, which is completely not what happened when I tested this before.
I just really think sometimes, I think Skype just does what it wants to do no matter what setting you have set.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got an almost full screen, and I'm doing a window capture, and it should just get the window, you know what I mean? It should show both of you, because that's what I see on Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like now I got a very clear view of your screen.
Oops. I was looking at the ingredients, and I'm like, this is like fruit snacks.
What are you talking about, Becca?
The candy dry daddy.
Candy what? The candy eggs?
No. Mommy got me candy Krabby Patties.
Candy Krabby Patties.
They're like fruit snacks. They're just like Krabby Patties.
Okay. Oh man, there is some lower rotation. It's not as pronounced, but you can still see it. And that's a good example of convergence right there, but it's not as tight as it was.
No.
Again, it's close to the radar though, so we don't have any way of knowing.
True.
If we know if my feed drops, we'll know that they're way too close.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, when they were talking about where all the different spotters were,
Right.
that's A.
That's A.
Right there. That's A.
Yes.
Or was it C? I can't remember, but it was C. C was right in the middle of the tornado. It hasn't refreshed yet. Let's see.
That's just weird.
All right, I should be getting a refresh here in just a few seconds.
Yeah, that was the only real thing that I did like better about the Facebook Messenger call last night was it had everyone laid out exactly, or you could go to where it was switching whoever was the current talker, that's who it would show. With Skype, sometimes it does that and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just, no matter, I think, what you have it set, it does whatever it wants. And then with Google Hangout, you can only, I think, have it either where it switches between the active person talking or you just are looking at one specific person the whole time. It doesn't even offer you a thing, I don't think, where you can see everyone at the same time.
Well, the only problem is I can't seem to get my silly thing to work with Facebook Messenger on my desktop. I don't know what it is. I've tried multiple things. I mean, granted, I could stand and talk on my iPad, but I like to use my iPad for other things.
I understand that. Everything seems to work sometimes a little bit more seamlessly on my phone, but it's a much smaller image.
Mm-hmm.
So I like having the bigger image, or if not the whole screen, kind of like I have it right now where I've got radar scope just on my main monitor. I've got most of the Skype call on the second monitor, and just a little corner, I've got the Jungle Chaser chat. That just might be a little bit bigger.
So I don't know. This is kind of all I'm getting is that the little pop-up window that appears. If you've ever seen that on the Skype app, and it doesn't appear to be getting what you're sending, which isn't what I want. I mean, I wouldn't care if it got really the whole page of Skype, which it does. It could do, but it doesn't do that either. It certainly worked better on the Facebook chat.
I don't know. Do you want to try the Facebook and see if I can get my camera to work?
We might as well.
Now, here's what I did. I started a conversation. This happened when I was talking to my mom and my brother down in Arkansas, and we were using Messenger at the time. And it would always just kind of, they didn't see me, they couldn't hear me, couldn't see me. But I like disabled my, my camera and then came back to it and it started working. They could see me again. But it didn't seem to do that when I was talking to Patty. So I don't know if maybe I can initiate a call with Steve and then, because I called them, they didn't call me. But if I call them, get mine going, then you can add Franklin into it, maybe.
Oh, wait a minute here. I think maybe something has fixed it because I got a giant image now.
Something changed?
Oh yeah, something changed.
Of me or?
No, the capture on my side changed, and don't remember what I closed here, but we can get us in there. Oh my, that's much better. Oh yeah, that's got a lot better look to it. It's a lot cleaner.
Thanks, Steve's happier.
Yeah, I shouldn't have this kind of trouble with it, though. I mean, it ought to be easier to do than this.
As far as like plug and play.
Yeah, as far as screen capturing for Skype, because I'm just capturing the window of an app, you know. So you were looking at the one up there by Kansas City.
Yeah.
Sorry that I appeared to bail on you guys. I started to take pills and realized I didn't have any water.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So you got severe thunderstorms as red?
Yes, so these are severe thunderstorm. Tornadoes are kind of a bright pink.
Okay.
It kind of just did that on its own. I didn't identify it that way.
Right.
Now, see, on radar scopings, you just get warnings only instead of watches, unless you're signed in on an Allison House account. Severe thunderstorm warnings are yellow, and tornado warnings are red, and then flood warnings are green.
See, that doesn't make sense. I would think that if they're going to give you a suite, it should give you that at least. Because, I mean, what's the whole point of getting the app in the first place? To find out what your warnings are and everything. Why do you have to pay extra for that? That's weird.
Well, but see, that's not even something that they even provide themselves. It's only if you have an Allison House account. So you're actually getting that watch data from Allison House, not RadarScope.
Yeah, but do you think they could handle that? Is that a server issue?
I have no idea. It's one of the gripes that I've got with them. The limiting the number of tilts, I don't like that either. I wish that they had like wider
KEAH
lines, so that you can, whenever you've got radar data and stuff going across, it's more easier to see where the county lines are. I kind of wish that they had the counties labeled, and I wish not necessarily that they had every road. I wish they had more roads on the map than what they do.
Well, KEAX is dead. I have nothing. So let me go to another one.
Out of KC.
DMX is Des Moines. That'd be kind of far out, though.
You said that was KEAX.
Yeah, it seems dead. I want to hit KTWX.
That's Topeka.
Yeah, that's the closest, though.
Which really is.
There it is.
Because it's almost in the fort.
That is weird because I have radar data. It's not real recent though. It's from 9/19. So not quite 10 minutes ago. So if they did go down or something, they must have just went down. Well, no. I just got an update from 9/24. So they're still going.
Let me try it again.
9/24?
Yeah. And I've got velocity data from 9/20.
Oh, there it goes.
Maybe it was just being obstinate.
That's a good possibility.
Maybe it was just kind of slow in updating and loading the information, because sometimes whenever I change to a new radar site for the first time,
Holy
until
crap.
it loads everything up, it won't show hardly any data at all. Oh,
Look at
yeah,
that hill core.
Ha!
just east of St. Joe.
Man, I'm going to
60.
tell you, if you've ever been in that area of the world, there is nothing out there but cornfields.
Really?
I mean, yeah, there's people that live out there, and, you know, if anyone happened to listen to us, it's terrible, but I can remember driving that stretch of 35 from Cameron to Pattonsburg, and it's like, I need gas, and I'm never going to find a gas station.
Well, it looks like it's right at the threshold of 65. They're saying 1 3/4 inch hail possible.
Oh, yeah, there's that one just right there. Yeah. I click on that? Yeah.
Okay, so 9:23, severe thunderstorm warning. Let me get... There we go. 9:07.
I need to get my conversion. Oh, well, I can't put that there because that's right where my converter's going to go. I need to go back to speed.
There's a cell up here, too.
Boston. 33 knots, 38 miles per hour.
Gotta find the original warning.
Because if I put that there, I'm covering that up. If I put that there, I'm covering up my radar stuff. So I'll have to put it right here.
So the weather statement issued 9:23. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 9:45 p.m. for northeastern Buchanan, southeastern Andrew, and northwestern DeKalb counties. At 9:22, a severe thunderstorm is located over Clarksville, or 9 miles northwest of Maysville, traveling northeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazards: golf ball-sized hail.
So is there any chatter on Spotify, or not Spotify, but Broadcastify, where we could listen and see if there's any, you know, if we're going to incorporate ham radio into this, I think it would be a good idea to kind of have that. Do you want me to fire it up, or do you have it, Steve?
I'm going to search.
Now, which storm are you guys looking at again? Is this the one up east, north of Kansas City, or is this back down in Texas?
No, it's up north of Kansas City.
Okay, that's the one I'm looking at.
Let's see if Kansas City Skywarn has it. Jokomo. That would be Johnson County, Missouri Skywarn repeater.
What is this?
I gotta get.
Every time I resize this Facebook chat, it wants to scroll all the way back up to the top.
It's like the squelch is open on their repeater.
But nothing's coming through.
That's Johnson County. Let me
Jackson.
see if there's anything north.
Just ones. Andrew Buchanan DeKalb. Andrew Buchanan.
And Orangeburg's too far away.
Andrew. Is that Buchanan? No, that's Buchanan. Okay. What's in DeKalb?
Hey, Rodney.
Yeah.
You got your DMR radio there. It's got Kansas City Skywarn in it.
That's true.
See if it's in there.
Shows they're online, but no one's listening.
Oop, that's weather.
Olathe? No.
No, that's too far west. There should be a Kansas City Skywarn talk group.
Yeah, I see it.
I am listening to the
But if it's not static, I'm gonna have to click into it.
Right.
I'm listening to the Broadcastify feed for the N0 SWP linked repeater system. It says it's Aries and Skywarn out of DeKalb County, but it shows it's online, but I'm not hearing anything.
Well, hold on. I'm not doing this right. I have to be in Springfield, and then I have to go to the Kansas City because I can't hit a Kansas City repeater.
Yeah, you'd have to do it like off the 685 or.
That would be good because I bet you it doesn't get as much traffic.
So Buchanan and Andrew. That was Andrew.
Okay, so Kansas City Sky, Branson 150, Cox, Conway, MSU, Neosho, Ozark 685. There it is. Kansas City Skywarn. So I'm gonna key into it. So we'll see if there's any traffic.
Fires in Fillmore. Buchanan. That's Sheriff and EMS in St. Joseph Police and Fire. So I guess of those counties up there, the only one
Do
that's
we have any live video feeds that we can tie into? Well, obviously, we can't put that on
Right.
if we start broadcasting, we can't put it on YouTube, but we can at least.
See, I don't know this, like St. Joe, that would be probably closer.
Mhm. Now, they did have a Broadcastify feed that included their police department, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it's Buchanan County Sheriff and EMS and St. Joseph Police and Fire. That's in Buchanan County. So then this should be Buchanan. Maybe that's Andrew Buchanan here, Andrew, and that's DeKalb.
Is it Buchanan or?
Yeah, it's Buchanan County is St. Joseph, and the only thing listed on Broadcastify is their sheriff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys already tied into it?
No.
I'm bringing it up.
They've got 314 listeners right now.
I've got 345.
Dang. 47. Ah, dadgummit.
And I am not hearing anything so far.
That's like the big thing to do up in that part of the world is listen to the police scanner. They might be arresting somebody you know.
Could be. They could have in custody Ron, tater salad. Why?
Yeah. I wasn't drunk in public. You threw me in public.
I wasn't.
I was in a bar.
I was drunk in a bar. They threw me
into public.
I was drunk in a bar, which is perfectly legal. Arrest them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so I'm on Zello now.
Mm-hmm.
Heather just talked and I didn't catch what she said.
You can replay stuff if you go back into where it shows the history, and you can tap on stuff and replay. I don't know how long far back it keeps, but it does for a little while.
Buchanan County Sheriff.
So we're actually live looking at a storm in up by St. Joe right now, and it's on the Jungle Chasers YouTube channel. I added Zello just for this purpose.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm having a bunch of issues with the buffering.
On our end?
No. She kind of sounds like it affects your Zello feed too.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any traffic on that.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything on either one.
Issues at least since yesterday with buffer. But I had issues earlier when I was watching.
Oh. I guess I never did start the feed on that repeater system. I thought I had. But yeah, I've been listening to the Buchanan County Sheriff and the St. Joseph Police for just over 3 minutes. Haven't heard a thing.
Give me a little warning there, Rodney.
I was looking at this cell right here.
Yeah.
Looks like it's intensifying a little bit.
About 54.
Whoa, that's a little too strong. Oh, get back.
Just now heard my first thing. I think that was the county sheriff and city PD.
Huh. Donovan County was canceled. Okay, severe thunderstorm was moved out of the area. Okay.
Wouldn't that be Kansas? Donovan, Kansas?
Yeah, I think that was Kansas.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. This is right on the border because there's. Yeah. All right. So let's try this one here. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 9:45. That's 5 minutes from now. Northeastern Buchanan, southeastern Andrew, and northwestern DeKalb.
DeKalb.
Yeah.
At 9:22, severe thunderstorm was located over Clarksdale, over 9 miles southwest of Maysville, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Golf ball size hail. People. All right. I can see where that would be the case. It's identifying it. At least 50 mile an hour winds in that. I mean, look at the velocity on that. There's quite a bit of rotation in that.
Oh my.
Hey, what's the...
Let's go up to the 1.3. Ooh,
Man, there's a couplet there at Maysville. You see that?
right in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well.
Go.
Are they finally talking?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I'm encountering the same thing that you did earlier, Rodney. My radar is not wanting to update right now.
That's a really strong couplet. Let me
That
see
is.
here. Outgoing 46 miles. That's kind of slow.
Or maybe it's just my radar.
It could be a downburst too. Hold on.
306, 302, you guys go for?
Does that look like that's not convergence? That's
You guys go for?
I'm going to call
don't know.
that storm scale rotation, don't you think? More larger than smaller. There's actually another one just to the west of Maysville. A littler one, you see it?
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only saying 28 point something mile an hour. Let me see
Right.
here. But again, that's also in the 1.3 swipe too. So
right.
it's quite a bit up there. There's a lot of.
You're way up in the as
Yeah, I'm up there. So there's definitely some high scale rotation in that. Let's drop back down to 0.9. Ooh, dang. All right, we'll go back to 05. Oh my.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
That Maysville, I mean, storm scale rotation, but it's kind of weird because it looks like it's on the leading edge of it, but
Yeah.
stranger things have happened.
I'm surprised they're not issuing a tornado warning on that, and unless they're not seeing the TVS.
Well, probably not. I mean, it's probably just, like I said, more of like a storm scale rotation of air out there, you know, that I've seen tornado couplets, and they're amazing. I mean, you can't mistake them when you know what you're looking for. You know, it's just there.
And that's
Right.
weird because that wind is right there where that hail core is.
Right, yeah, right by where you got your mouse. There's a notch, like the cloud has a notch to it. Yeah, just to the.
You're talking about this notch right.
That notch right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that falls completely away from the idea of a standard supercellular structure, but you got rotation, you got a big hail mass, and you know you got updrafts.
Oh yeah.
If there's golf ball size hail out there.
Well, yeah, because I mean, look, that's 63 dBz, 65.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll zoom in a little further here and let's see where the whites are. Yeah, I mean, still 64, 60, right there in the threshold. That one's big time right there.
And considering now, when we did the training the other day, he was talking about there's some pretty good sized areas that don't have good radar coverage.
Yeah.
Just to the east of this point is one of those places. Because you've got Kansas City to the west, southwest, Des Moines to the north, and St. Louis to the east. And the Quad Cities, it just doesn't cover from like Gallatin over into Macon and Kirksville. There used to be a radar in Kirksville, and the airport closed.
Ah,
It was the old style radar. I remember seeing the ball on 63 north of Kirksville. And, you know, unless KTVO, which is the TV station up there, has a radar, Kirksville, Macon. Now, that's, you know, I suppose, not in the big picture of that, that's probably close enough to EAX to do okay.
Yeah.
Topeka was picking it up, too. But you see that stuff over Kirksville, that's probably just clutter.
Yeah. I doubt that's anything.
Yeah.
They weren't in the high risk area, were they?
No.
Let's do this.
They're
I'm gonna do a
out of that.
scan. I'm gonna do a scan back in Texas and see if anything came from that. Oh wow, that's blown up. Jeez.
The one down there by Frederick.
Yeah. Memphis.
You're missing.
This is a severe thunderstorm right here. Let's get KDFR started, and I'll turn National Radar off.
That's Frederick.
are you looking at that one down by the Mexico border or the one up by Oklahoma?
The
Just
one
north of Wichita Falls.
Yeah, the one that's just about ready to. The upper leading edge of it is about to smash into Oklahoma City.
Gotcha. You're using KFDR?
Yes.
And it's. There's like no coverage there. And that's kind of weird because you've got Frederick down there in the corner, and then you got Oklahoma City, and you got Norman.
I may have pushed it a little too hard getting service because that just locked up the app here.
I'm having some issues with mine too. I've had, whenever I was up there at Kansas City, like nothing was wanting to update. It even got to the point where it was taking out city names. And I restarted Radar Scoping, and then it was fine for about 3-4 minutes, and then it crashed. And then I had to restart it again.
I'd hit
Yeah, it's-
KTLX when you get it to move.
Yeah, I may have to force close it here.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good kind of a Boeing part of that line segment there, kind of just east of Empire City, Duncan, and Marlow. Looks like a good scattering of a nice sized heliport as well. That's kind of in the middle of that.
All right, so let's do this again without just blowing something up.
I'm sorry, more.
I don't know. Would I be better off hitting KTLX?
Yeah, I would do that. I don't know. I don't know your app.
Okay, let me turn national radar off. All right, so that's their true radar right there.
Oh,
So yeah, there's oh, look at that bow right in here.
Oh, that's a sweetie.
So you've got right in this spot right here.
That might be that one that I was just talking about.
This is even a look at this notch right in here. Let's go
Yeah.
into velocities real quick and see.
I think that might be too big.
Yeah, that's nothing.
You know, like the knee of that, where that
That's some
pushed out.
strong gusts though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not enough for severe. I mean, this isn't even really doing severe weather right here, and that's a thunderstorm warning.
Right.
It's got massive, huge hail core on it too. That might be why they issued the warning because of the hail.
Well, they just canceled this one. Severe thunderstorm, eastern Comanche County has been canceled.
And Oklahoma City is absolutely getting pounded with lightning right now.
Yeah, just north of Duncan, there was a spotter network report of 1 3/4 size hail. South of it, another spotter network report of 1 inch hail. So that might possibly be why they issued the warning, was because of the hail.
What do you want, Cat? We'll be right back after these messages.
Meow.
Has your cat ever felt lonely? Is your cat wanting your attention? Maybe the cat's just hungry. Well, us here at Nine Lives would like to tell you that our new latest product that has been personally tested by Morris the 14th is the perfect thing for your cat if your cat comes up to you and is seeming a little needy.
Morris the 14th.
Morris
Yeah.
14.
You know they're not on the original Morris.
Well, of course not. That cat would be like 70 years old.
That cat would be older than Methuselah in cat years.
I had a Morris when I was in high school.
Ah.
He was a farm cat. He lived outside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to turn that up. Western Oklahoma County Skywarn Storm Spotters.
You do have one? Let's see if we got any traffic from that. Let's see.
They're an active net, but I don't. It just said it was active.
Yeah.
Do you think that will keep together and come into our area?
You know, Cade was talking about the idea that it was going to build. There's going to be some stuff built to the west of us. We've got the ingredients for it. I noticed on Pivotal Weather that it was the dew points were pushing way up. And if you notice, compared to a little earlier this afternoon, it's still almost 60 degrees out there.
What was the dew points?
Well, I have to pull them up and see. You know, I got
I'm
that,
going.
that pivotal weather from that Hockey Nate guy. And he was doing a bunch of his RTMA analysis. 2 meter above ground level dew point, and that was 50 minutes ago. You know, up there where the up in St. Joseph, the dew points were in the 50s, and just about where Oklahoma City is, they're in the 60s.
Yeah, they're definitely ripe as far as. Let me see here. I think I can get some dew point options here.
I bet you could, because it appears, you know, I'm kind of that old school weather guy. You know, you see the old hand drawn maps with the low pressure area. Well, it's just sucking the humidity up out of the Gulf and the temperatures.
Here, let's see here. Dew point.
Looks like a couple more reports have popped up. Quarter size hail in Ping. Dime size hail in Ping.
What direction is that coming? It is moving into our area.
Yeah, it's coming up.
We're supposed to have, after midnight, some overnight thunderstorms. I don't think they're expecting anything severe, but we are supposed to have a chance of them.
Well, you know, we lost a lot of heating with the sun setting.
Mm-hmm.
So what we got in Oklahoma City. I can hear them. They're certainly not reporting anything, so it must only be severe.
What's surface cape here?
Now, is that out of Oklahoma City, Steve?
It's western Oklahoma Skywarn, which is probably a large area net.
Kind of like a linked system similar to the 4.9.
Yeah, well, actually, those guys do it a little bigger than we do it. They got some big areas. K-Link, Kansas really does it big. I mean, you can talk state to state border almost in that.
Nice.
The Southeast Kansas Amateur Radio Club, if you've seen that, the guys that we've befriended on Facebook, they got a K-Link site down in their area where they can talk in, and it's, you know, you could talk from Chanute or Manhattan, or Chanute to Manhattan, or back and forth. I mean, it's pretty extensive. But the idea there, it's all pretty much storm related, Skywarn stuff. Good grief.
Are you looking at this hill core right here?
I am. Where's that at?
Just east of Marlow. Pull back here.
Okay. Yeah, that's
gotcha.
part of that core that I was talking about earlier. When that was closer to Duncan, that was reaching from Marlow almost all the way down to Meridian in kind of a curved shape.
Look at that, just kind of squalls around.
Yeah. That's a big push there in that bow that's pushing out.
Right in here, or
down
are you talking
below, down below Marlow. It's really pushing out. You see how it's bowing out, and they've got it all warned, right? Exactly. And it warned clear to Paul's Valley. Paul's Valley.
It's moving at 45 miles an hour. Let's see here. Storms. Now, let's see how the storms behind it is doing. Yeah, they're not much. Well, let's see. That would be a fear. Am I missing something? That should have been updated by now.
That's brand new. That was just issued. So
Yeah, this is Ardmore. What county did they say? Let me see if I can zoom in some counties here.
Alma was a city.
Elmore City?
Alma, A-L-M-A. Let me see where that is.
I just did a live scan.
Talk about picking the littlest, tiniest, nowhere place in Oklahoma. They just did it. Okay, so it is almost due south of Oklahoma City. So in that the polygon you've got now
Unless you've got a different overlay on this that doesn't list counties, it only lists cities.
I can change that though. Hold on.
you're looking at the feed on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing that, and I'm watching the line move down here too. I'm also watching the development down below that line as well.
So Alma's pretty good ways south. It is it's between Pauls Valley and Ardmore. And it's just to the west of it. So that polygon that it shows is that warning.
Okay, gotcha.
Right down here.
Yeah. See Pauls Valley, and then if you go on down 35, you're going to see Ardmore. Well, it's in the middle of it.
And I am zooming in quite a ways on the radar scope, and it is not pulling it up.
And trust me, it's probably not on the map. Alma's like 2 streets, and it's nothing.
Well, I'm wondering if it'll let me add it, because that is one thing that I do like about radar scope is if you know the name and the state of the city or the zip code, you can add stuff that does not show up, but you can only add it like individual cities at a time.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can do that here. Locations. And scroll down, add location. Is that spelled A-L-M-A?
A-L-M-A, yeah.
Okay, Oklahoma.
You might as well just call it Duncan. I think where that...
Yep, and it just added it.
Yeah. It's just south of Davis. So
Cool.
they're getting the brunt of the center of that bow. and they'll be getting it soon. They mentioned a few other names, but I didn't catch them. That's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
looks like expecting 100% chance of hail up to 1.25 inch. That is moving at 35 knots, and for everyone who does not know what that is, that translates to 40.3 miles per hour.
Wow, really? Okay.
We lost your video.
Yeah, I took my video off because I'm actually taking my insulin shots, and I didn't figure people would like to watch that.
No,
You're
probably
right.
not.
You got that right.
Franklin will be
Yeah.
right back after these messages.
Yeah, shots, blowing my nose, stuff like that. I don't figure people like to watch these small unpleasantries of life.
Well, it's after 10. Patty ought to be pulling in the driveway soon.
Oh, she gets to get in the game. Get in the game.
We get to introduce the world to Madam Skywarn.
The big
Madam
game
Sky.
is tomorrow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. And trying to balance that with family time is going to be interesting.
Well, it's going to be in the afternoon.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
my wife seems to has an interesting idea of how we're going to plan that. So
Oh, really?
I can only hope she gets tired and wants to take a nap. That's all I can say.
Well, take her out for a walk in the morning.
Oh, yeah. I'll be right back.
There he goes. So I got this Zello app installed now, and I ain't had one in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice that there was a
Hey, Steve, have you seen that report that's down in that storm in Oklahoma?
So we're actually live looking at a storm.
What are the conditions?
Oh, wow.
actually looking like
That-
for the
That bow
aftermath
has gotten even more pronounced. Look at it now.
with the surface cape?
Oh, yeah. They're around Velma. It is really
give me a minute, I'm looking.
V'ing, almost. By the way, did my video ever come back up?
No. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, it's not showing again on my end, but I've got it turned on. So I wasn't for sure.
Well, I've got the Rodney's feed on there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm
And
back.
so you
Look,
only got the
all right, so you guys remember how they were talking about the punch? Look at this. So right here is that punch that he was talking about.
Yeah.
in the backside of a bow echo like that, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So that means that the winds are basically pushing through and making that even more intense. So if we go and look at our velocities, which I have no idea why that's blanked out. Come on, program.
Why is I turning on?
Heather, the last sounding out of Norman, the Cape was 1102. The Sin is -16. LI is -5.
See, look how
They do show
intense
counts.
those.
Sorry,
Mhm.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, look how intense those gusts are. 56 mile an hour.
Gap at this point.
7, 56.
Well, at the
50.
time of the sounding, they were, because the temperature rises remarkably at 12 kilometers.
But most everything's between 50 to 58, kind of along that line, spinning up north and west from Velma.
That's what I was wondering. That kind of makes me curious to see what the soundings are going to be in the morning.
I'm going to be more interested in what they are down in Mississippi in the morning. The little storm we're not watching down in Texas is supposed to blow into the south, Dixie Alley, and give us some excitement.
Oh wow! Now we're getting some rotation.
Ooh.
Yeah, didn't he mention? Well, us old guys still kind of refer to that as gustnadoes.
It will be interesting. Mississippi, Alabama. Down there. Yeah. Louisiana.
Look at that.
See
What?
whether it's just a normal watch that sets you or whether it's a PDS watch.
Outgoing.
That's-
Oh, okay. There we go. I just updated. No.
That's lower level. Let me look here. Look at that. And that's not very tight, but there's definitely some rotation in the storm.
Yeah. This is
What radar is? That's Norman still, isn't it?
Huh?
That's still
Yeah, it is.
Norman, right?
Yeah. Let's get a
Okay.
little closer here. Let me back out and see where my spots are.
There's Ringling. There's Alma. Alma's about ready to get run over. Probably already has, considering radar delays.
here's what I'm seeing here. 70, 69, 72, 70 in that area, just kind of southwest of Elma, just getting ready to come into Loco. Oh, one pixel's 91.
So
Is that knots?
It says miles per hour. I know the other night, Mark was saying that it would always be in knots, but I'm wondering if Radar Scope does some conversion or something, because it specifically says, like the spot that I'm at right now, it says 72 mph.
It's not letting me select KFWS. That's weird. This app is running dumpy.
And the radar I'm actually using is Oklahoma City, KTLX.
Well, that's what I got here. Oh, hold on. I was in probe mode. No wonder. I'm still learning how to use this stupid machine. All right, so now I can switch to that. Let's see what that. That's right near Dallas, Fort Worth.
It does look like that Elcor has gone down, though.
Now there's a vortex. There's a meso detection in that storm we were just looking at. That's the one I said I saw the rotation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was right there where I said it.
Yep.
So we'll see if a TVS comes from that, but
Those are
it still
generally-
seems like it's not real tight yet. But look how close it is to that hail core.
Those are never very long lived. That's for sure.
Right. So are we actually having anybody popping in on our live feed and watching this, or is this just private?
No, I got I got 3 viewers total, and one of them's me.
And one is probably Heather.
Heather's on, and I believe Patty's on. Maybe.
All right, please subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, we all need to. I'll send out a notice to subscribe, so we got everybody who would want to in our group has got a subscriber and get notifications of live events.
Cool.
But
See, what we do need is we need a cool little promo on our video. Something like, "Welcome to the jungle. We're the Jungle Chasers. We are from Southwest Missouri, and there's a lot of hills and forests and trees and everything, so that's why we're in the jungle. Bringing you live weather updates and outlooks and all the great things that make up the weather community." So
You're recording that, right? That's
it's
it. That's
going
the
out
sound.
on the air, man.
Yeah, there you go. Or we could. I know we'd probably get hit for copyright, but couldn't we just start playing the Guns N' Roses? Welcome to the jungle.
We get struck by YouTube every single video.
Yeah, if there's ever a hope for monetization.
Yeah.
But the guy in the Hockey Boy Nate guy, he's not monetized either. He hasn't got to 1,000 subscribers, so
Yeah, we can be like 300.
How many you have to have before you can monetize is 1,000?
gotta have 1,000, yep. And 4,000 watched hours, which, you know, it's gonna take a while, so we aren't gonna worry about it. We're just gonna play. And
Yeah.
I did come up with I got a question asked to me, how do I become a member, and I couldn't find it on the website. And so I'm thinking that we need to change that so there's a one click to become a member.
I can just imagine the song "Welcome to the Jungle" come across.
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like
it
to
could
become?
be bad.
We'll
you mean
have
like to
Franklin
become
sing
a
it.
member of Smart or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, on ours with this, if we're going to do donations or something like that, we need a place to go to do that. And, you know, since it's a collaborative effort, it's going to go to making sure we've got a site and all those other things that go along with a group like we are.
Oh, there's a ton of lightning in that.
Look at that right there.
I think the Skywarn guys in Oklahoma are waking up.
Are there? I'm not sure that my scope. Oh no, I guess it didn't crash.
Oh.
And no.
Observations.
I really need to get that Mac Pro going.
Put Ubuntu on it. They're really running.
They just put another severe thunderstorm warning on that.
On that same Bow Echo.
Yeah, so severe thunderstorm warning. Northeastern Jefferson County, Garvin County, Eastern Stevens County, Carter and Murray until 10:45. Severe thunderstorm located 5 miles northwest of Velma, moving east at 45 miles an hour.
Mhm.
Golf ball size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Trained weather spotters.
Yeah. They don't have a TBS on it, but they just now changed the icon to a mesocyclone.
That's what I'm seeing right here. It's not very strong though, and it's in the upper levels. So let me see. See, it's in the 1.3s. So that's about what, 10, 12,000 feet? No, 16,000 feet.
Kind of looks like things are blowing up out there.
Yeah.
Let's go back to reflective.
It's shown here the height of max rotational velocity is 8,000 feet.
Hadn't changed all that much.
Now, I'm wondering, the number that you and Patty see on there, that kind of, I guess, is like a ranking system that they use to tell how strong it is. Would that have anything to do with the mesocyclone strength index? Because that's what I get on the radar scope whenever I scroll through the information. And it's saying it's a strength index of 3,704 right now.
Well, my understanding is this program reads the algorithm that comes directly from the radar. So
Okay.
yeah, chances are it's getting the same information.
It's just maybe this is a different scale than what it's using, but using that same data to come up with both of those.
It's
rates.
identifying it with a certain, So like, see, this one is an intermediate. This one's ended up, well, hold on, I'm not there yet. It got moved there. Okay, so it's an index 7 right now.
Okay.
And it's still weird that it's right on the leading edge of that hail core. And that hail core is starting to kind of die a little bit. Let me see. Well, seems like it's kind of rampant still, so we'll have to see. That's probably why they kept it as a severe, because of hail probability 1.25 inches. Oof. Kansas City woke up.
Kansas City woke up.
We got the Skywarn on here, but that should have timed out a long time ago. I bet you that's just a standard talk group.
Yeah.
It was Southwest Missouri. It wasn't. It wasn't Kansas City. There's a lot of clutter coming on that. That storm in Norman. A rhyme. Here, let me go back to KPLX.
Looks like they've got 2 low lines in that too.
You're seeing a.
Oh,
Are you seeing a second one?
there's some more Boeing right in here. Look at that. Right in this area, right in here. That's a very pronounced O. Let's see what the wind on that one. Oh yeah, see, look, it's a leading.
If you look right where Norman's at, and the line that's right on that looks like it's trying to bow out into something, and then the one that has been warned is definitely getting more pronounced as it goes along.
Oh no, there's another mesovortex in that spot. That's a lot of rotation down there. Look how there's a couplet right in here.
Ooh. Just
63, 62. Ooh. It's refreshing. Holds up. Right there. I don't know how that's pretty low. Let me see.
show your radar?
Are you talking to me or Rodney?
Rodney.
No, my radar is good.
Because I've got you on, and Franklin, I'm not getting your screenshot anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he's sharing anymore.
Whenever you kick onto someone else, it kicks me off. I don't share anymore. So, do you need me to come back on?
Yeah, go ahead. It did something on its own because it wasn't me. There we go. Double check my page here.
Well, I'm wondering, I started sharing my screen, so that may have been what hit it.
Yeah, that'll kill it.
You killed it for me. You killed it.
Killed it. Killed it.
All right. So now there's a tornado vortex signature here. That's about where I said it would happen earlier.
Oh.
Oh man, Tatum's. Okay, so if they don't, hold on. Let me go back to the velocity again. Oh yeah, I can see why that. Okay.
Franklin, you've never seen Andy Bean's name listed as a net control, have you?
I don't believe so. That name doesn't sound familiar.
Okay.
I know definitely not for Greene County as long as I've been involved in it, and I don't even recall him being a net control for the regional.
I don't, I never remember hearing him ever be net control. I mean, maybe in the past, but...
All right, we're getting a refresh.
Tatum's? That's showing a tornado vortex signature right there.
Yeah. There's a lot of high winds up in this area. I would have thought that would have refreshed by now. Hold on a second. Unless it did and it just kept that same rotation. I don't know.
Alright. Dadgummit, I went off of the satellite view. I want NexRad.
NexRad real-time radar brought to you by the National Weather Service.
We need to get our sound effect.
Yeah.
That's probably copyrighted. You probably not do that.
Approaching a twisting storm. Please exercise caution.
That's awesome.
If that ain't enough to scare the crap out of you, this will.
That'll get you too.
You don't believe what I had to do to get those two sounds to be a notification sound on my phone. It was like, really? I got to do all that?
If you hover over where that tornado vortex signature is, it will say low level delta velocity, maximum delta velocity, base height at 4.5, and depth at 27 kft.
Is that what she's talking about? That one that has an index of 5?
Yeah. Index 5, low level rotation 35 knots.
Well, that TVS was up here.
And it's
moved.
gone now, right?
Yeah. If I back up here. Maybe. Let's see here.
Oh, okay. There it is now. I guess I was just zoomed in too close. I never saw it till just now.
Well, I'll be dadgummed. Where's she at?
Just northeast of Tadams, I think it is.
I hope that's not Patty.
Oh,
I'm just sitting here battling with the College of DePage. There we go. Do a poll next rad. Of course, it starts in the home sector. There we go. Oh, yeah. Flash is disabled by default. I hate that.
oh,
Man. Yeah, there is a second bow appearing up closer to Oklahoma City.
Oh, right here?
Yeah. I think the first one kind of played out, and now the second one's going.
kind of up by Slaughterville and Tribby.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Alright, I gotta go in the house. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It'll be live as we go.
It'll be live, not Memorex.
We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. We don't have sponsors, so messages
Hello.
are...
Have you ever had trouble getting that pertinent stain off of your wooden coffee table? Well, here at Wood Be Gone, not only will we get the stain removed, but we'll remove the wood too. Our patented formula dissolves through wood, eating away all those difficult little things to get off of there. It eats away the wood too, so you know the spot's not going to stick around. So try Wood Be Gone in all your local retail stores.
You're one of a kind, Franklin.
I know. I need a third monitor, Rodney.
You can never have too many monitors.
I need one just for radar, one just for the Skype call, and one for Facebook chat and National Weather Service chat.
Right. And then once you get that, you'll need a fourth monitor, too.
Well, if I'm going to buy another graphics card, I might as well get one that does at least two. And I have got enough cinema displays and I believe adapters that I could do for.
Look where that's notching.
Let me go back down there.
So you got, I mean, it's not a very pronounced bow, but you got here, and then this one's starting to bow a little bit. But right here in that notch, I'm trying to.
Hmm. Yeah, just kind of east of Elmore City, it's got that kind of that. Oh, I guess you would call it kind of like a knobby thing where it's kind of bowing again, and there's a couple little notches out in front of that. And not really necessarily a notch, but there's a little bit of a curved in area, kind of just southwest of Elmore City.
It's interesting how this storm's moving right up I-44.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever I was looking at that that other boat area up closer to Oklahoma City, I noticed that it looked like there was a lot of spotters up along that highway, and I was wondering if that was 44.
That'll be in our neighborhood probably within the next 3 to 4 hours.
Could be definitely if it continues following the interstate and it stays together. Go back down to this. Yeah, a little bit of it looks like Ray's starting to get into the Tulsa area.
I have returned.
Excuse
Whoa!
me.
Holy cow!
I think he muted himself.
Yeah, second. Didn't quite have enough warning to mute for the first one.
Boom.
Voodoo.
I know I asked before, I'm just wanting to double check and make sure because I've got a box. I'm just not showing anything in the box. You guys are seeing me, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
One thing about it, you're always kind of right on the edge, though. Like, you've got a large area for the camera, but I just noticed where you're setting. You're not really centered. There you go. That's a little better.
Yeah, and see, I kind of, whenever I could see myself before, I was kind of every once in a while watching that, because depending on where I go in the chair, if I sit more on this side, how I have the monitor pointed normally, I kind of get close to the edge on this side. That's kind of why I really would like an external webcam.
Yeah, it would be handy.
Yeah, I can just turn it instead of turn my whole monitor.
What'd you get for dinner, Steve?
Banana bread.
That's definitely, that's dinner of champions right there.
Mm-hmm. Mom has not made any banana bread for a while.
Man.
Does she have any leftover ham?
You know, I didn't look in there to see. We had a bunch of our own, so there's no worries. But I'm gonna bet they probably scarfed it.
Probably.
That homemade honey baked ham is awesome. You know what's the secret to homemade honey baked ham? Just a splash of hot sauce.
Ooh, I bet that would bring out a
Pretty
lot.
sure that's what you had said before.
Yep. You can do either you can do tapatio or you can do sriracha. Either way. But I'm kind of the opinion Sriracha's a little too vinegary. So the Tapatio is what it was, and it just gives you enough of that bite that it's like, oh baby, ooh.
That's a big long line that starts at McLeod and moves its way south and starts curving a little bit, just a little bit north of Macomb through Tribby, all the way down to Poly, and then kind of ends just a little bit southeast of Maysville.
Well, this is till 10:45, so we've got about 5 minutes before this could be reissued, or it may be dying a little bit. I've been watching it, even though it's got that meso vortex. Let me look at it again. Doesn't it show any signs of dying? It seems like it's holding its own pretty well.
It is.
They may actually enter. They may do another warning in this area. Oh, that's got a tornado vortex on it now. Hold on.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
No, I guess that was what it was before. It was a tornado, a TVS earlier, but it's not now.
Yeah,
so.
and then they dropped it.
Yeah, so going back in time will mess you up sometimes.
Sometimes.
If you zoom in on that current warning, that little bit of a notch would probably concern them.
Well, see, this is already kind of built up again. So that hill core is already developed.
Yeah, it's kind of developing back a little bit. The last couple.
We just got another live scan come through.
And see that meso detection that they got. That's an updraft that's spinning. So anything's possible on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of rotation in this storm. Look at that. That's lower level rotation.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what's that up there?
Ooh.
That's pink, so that kind of means that it's so strong that the radar can't penetrate it.
About 9 miles southeast of, let's see, what is that? Ratliff City. What is it saying? Upper 70 and a couple of 81 mile per hour winds.
Huh. That doesn't seem like it's moving all that fast.
No, it really doesn't.
That's a lot of rotation up there, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see where you're talking about now for that.
Could that have been a downburst?
Now, see, I'm not showing that on radar scope.
How high a scan is that?
It's just 0.5. Let me bump it up. It's just now refreshing. Okay.
It was in that color of velocity where it kind of can't make it out. There's
Yeah.
It's too thick.
I forget what it is that they call it. I think they have a name for it. On radar scope, it just shows up as RF. It's like the weird information that comes back on the return that the computer just can't make sense of.
It's kind of interesting that it's in that spot, though. So unless there's a possibility there is a large object that's blocking that doesn't know.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Down there in the middle part of the polygon, just now got another TDS.
Oh, they just issued it. Another
Yeah,
thunderstorm.
Straight west of Davis.
So the National Weather Service in Norman, northwestern Johnston County,
Oh, it's picked up.
south central Garvin County, southeastern Carter County, and then Murray County until 11:30. 44 severe thunderstorm located 5 miles southeast of Hennepin, moving east at 35 miles an hour. So it's still maintaining its strength.
Yeah, in fact, just a little bit ago, it was showing the low-level velocity as around 30 knots. Now it's saying 52 knots, which would equal out to just shy of 60 miles per hour, 59.8 miles per hour.
It's not tornado yet, though. Oh, well, hold on. It is. Tornado vortex signature.
But no warning issued yet. KTTS
No, not yet.
Warning was issued.
Only the locals are going to get that. Or anyone from Wichita.
There's a lot of rotation in here, though.
You know, I ran into this old car at a salvage yard that had a KFTI sticker on. It looked just like the KTTS Country Club. And I was like, what the heck is that?
There's a lot of rotation in that. Even in the upper level. That's 2.4 right there. So I can see now why that's showing at the vortex signature. Yeah, let's watch that. That could easily be, I think that'll be tornado warrant here soon.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anything really tight on mine, but of course I can only go up to 1.73, so I'm sure.
Wait a minute, they see two of them. Or at least I say they. They don't say it. The software is seeing two.
Interesting.
Yeah, you see that notch.
Was that Heather?
Yeah, like I said, the old KFTI stickers look the same as the KTTS ones.
Interesting.
This notch that you're looking at, you got your pointer right by.
Mm-hmm.
That would be of.
You're talking about this spot right in here?
Yeah. So they talked about this in the training about because those little notches like that can be the indicator of a second updraft where you've got two lined up supercells together that are almost forming line. That, that's almost classic from what his radar training, isn't it? Almost.
Mm-hmm. It was I agree. All right, so I'm going to zoom out. Let's get a big picture of this and see what's going on.
You wouldn't want to drive into any of that because it's all absolute pouring down rain with hail, the bear's cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you don't want to drive into it.
You can't see anything. You're being hit with hail. You're being rocketed with high winds. And, I just got run over by a tornado.
Yeah, exactly.
Franklin got run over by a tornado.
Have you been out chasing Franklin?
No, I've never even been out spotting.
Oh my.
I know, I need to.
Spotting is a little bit boring. Not gonna lie. It's kind of like you just sit there and occasionally you see something nice. Or you just want to throw your microphone down like it's on fire. And that's when somebody says, "Oh yeah, man, I got something. It looks like a tornado." And it's like, dude, that's Scud. Stop it.
That's the smoke from the power plant.
Even that had a more persistence than the
This
I
little
see
wispy
something.
thing.
and I'm looking at the same thing from a different angle about 10 miles away, and this scud is changing and moving so fast it's not persistent, but yet, oh yeah, it's a tornado. It's like, oh, no more. No more. Don't let them
You
spot.
know, I can't really recall anything to really actually name any names, and even if I did, I wouldn't name names anyway. But I can remember some moments on listening to the 4-9 when Jim was still doing it, and someone would say something, and I'd be like, "Why'd they report that?" And then Jim would answer in a very, very polite way, and I'd like look over to Mom after he unkeyed, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I bet in between that, Jim was probably cussing that person out."
So you know the term I use, you want to throw your microphone like it's on fire? That came from Jim. That was Jim's term.
Was it?
And there were certain individuals that caused that behavior in him. It's like, you know, and I'm kind of like, I'm a budding spotter. I want to learn what I'm doing here. And so I paid attention in the spotter class, so I wouldn't make a fool of myself. And all that's there for is to make sure that you aren't making a fool of yourself by saying something that ain't so. It's a big difference. Oh, tornado on the ground, and you know what? I'm seeing something persistent here. You guys at the Weather Service, take a look.
Yeah.
That's a
Let's,
whole big difference.
Let's go check up here. This look interesting.
Oh, back to Kansas City?
Yeah, they got some warnings on up there. What kind of warning is that?
That is a marching ant warning.
I see that. This is new.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, that's what Radar Scope is calling it.
I'll be darned.
Radar indicated.
Yeah, it
Wow,
looks like
look at that. Holy
south of
smokes.
Fulton, there's a mesocyclone signature.
Well, I'm looking at that hail core.
Well, yeah. There's a couple. I got one just west of Denison, and then one kind of just southwest of
Refresh it.
Fulton.
Hold up.
Whoa. Man, that developed quickly.
66.2. Cool. That's about as high as it can get. You're talking some major damage in that area.
Yeah.
So I'm
Here's
looking
one.
at the College of DuPage radar, which has, I just told it to give me 96 scans and animate them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a front that moved through that generated this, and you have to kind of animate quite a big part of it. But there's this front, and I gotta say it's got to be warm air, but maybe it's not because it's moving north. And then when it crossed just above 70 there, it created that right there. And that happened in the last, 5 scans.
Gotcha. So, about the last 20, 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah, or less. Yeah. Because that was really just kind of a loosely defined series of rain off there just west of Kansas City. And then it became that. Holy cow.
Here, let me run the scan real quick.
I gotta see.
Or not the scan, but let's see what it looked like. Let's see if I can back.
Oh my, that thing is blowing up with lightning too, man. That's cool.
Why is Kansas City showing dash?
All right, so a little bit of insider information there. The town that says Olsberg, that's the north end of the tank shooting range for Fort Riley.
Okay.
So in other words, they're shooting from about Manhattan all the way up there. And I know that because my son-in-law is a tanker, and he was in charge of that range for a while.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
I don't have weather radar.
You guys see that? 70.1 dB.
Now, see, radar scope isn't showing quite as much of that hail. Like, I'm not really seeing much of anything around Wheaton. I'm seeing the one east of Onaga. I'm seeing the one south of Holton. And now I'm seeing the one around Randolph and Allsburg. But I'm not really... I guess maybe there's a couple little pixels around Wheaton. But what I've been looking before my radar scope crashed and I had to restart it twice was just southwest of Holton. If you look at your Tilt 1 velocities, it looks like they're, well, it's just now updated. It's not quite as pronounced now, but there was a little coupling.
On velocity?
Do you guys see this little notch right here? I don't know what the velocities are, but...
That's down in that area that I was just now talking about south of Holton.
Yeah, but the rotation's not really there.
It was a little bit more pronounced a second ago, and then my velocity just updated while I was talking about that. It's a little bit more scattered now than what it was.
Yeah, it's not really... That's moving so quickly that...
Plus, there's a hail. I mean, there's a little bit of hail in that too, so it's hard to say. But.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely from Denison stretching back west to where that was a mesocyclone. Now it is not. So yeah, there was some rotation there, but it's dying down. And then looks like another hail core just came up between Valley Falls and Ozawaki. Did I even come close to pronouncing that correctly?
I have no idea. I've only ever been in that area once. It's really pretty. It's the Flint Hills. There's some really cool stuff going on there, but I have no idea.
Yeah, it's even more pronounced here. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not. I mean, it still doesn't have that kind of rotation in it, though.
Is that
I don't
green
think
mark or
that's
hail?
Yeah, that's a hail probability. They're saying at least an inch wide.
Mm.
So what would that be? Quarter size? Roughly?
I think
About,
it's
yeah.
quarter. Oh, well, here, let me just pull that up. I keep forgetting. I have these Skywarn visual aids that I kept in a file for use during nets, and I keep forgetting that I have them.
So how's our statistics looking? We still just have 3 viewers?
Hang on. Look.
Yes, 1 inch would be quarter size.
3 concurrent viewers and 1 like. Hey,
Thanks for the like, Heather.
That's a great start, honestly. That's real great.
Yeah, so just for anyone who may be viewing that probably already knows this, but hey, we'll just do this for practice. Equivalent sizes of hail. P would be about 1/4 inch. A penny in diameter would be about 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. A quarter would be 1 inch. Ping pong balls would be 1.5 inches. Golf ball size hail would be about 1 3/4 inches. A good sized hen's egg would be 2 inches. A tennis ball would be 2.5 inches. Baseball is 2 3/4 inches. Softball is 3.8 inches. And heaven forbid you ever see it, but grapefruit size hail would be 4.5 inches.
I've
This
seen
So
by the
we
National
may actually see softball size hail tomorrow.
Somewhat.
Possible.
But we have had softball size hail here. I didn't see the hailstones, but I saw the aftermath of it. And it actually hit the cable TV coax and put a dent in the cable on the top where you go along and you'd see where the cable was pulled down away from the strand. That was big stuff.
I bet.
It smashed car windows, man. I mean, it made a mess out of things. And it was just east of Kinzer Bridge, out there by Pecker's
And
Beach.
that cable coax, how big in diameter was that? And I'm assuming that that's normally got at least some little bit of tension on it.
Yeah, it was 5/8 diameter coax, and it's got a solid aluminum jacket.
So it's got some stiffness to it.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to our storm down here in Wichita Falls.
Oh.
It doesn't appear to have changed all that much, with the
No.
exception of these vortex signatures. So let me zoom in now.
It really doesn't look like it's taking the track towards Springfield either, does it?
It seems
Is it
like
going
it's moving
more
southeast.
Down. Oh, southeast. Okay.
Yeah.
That's those two vortex signatures we were looking at earlier, but that's a lot right in this area. Here, here.
Got a huge hail core just west of Davis, and I'm still showing a TDS just like immediately southwest of Davis.
Thing is I think this is probably going to start feeding this guy right here.
Maybe
Well,
they are kind of starting to run together a little bit there by Tadams.
I'm going to add Madam Skywarn.
Oh, Patty!
And there she is. The dedicated Skywarn lady herself. I don't
that
hear
bow
her.
is still very pronounced. And you see that spot right in here. Is she talking?
Is her mic muted, maybe?
I'm thinking.
No, I don't think so. She says she can't hear you. Is her volume turned down? Slightly. Would think she would catch that.
Well, I know the live stream's got sound.
I am hearing you, Steve, fine, but I am not hearing her.
Yeah.
YouTube feed.
We're on a part of Little Texas.
You know, the Skype on Linux is probably about as bad as any about not always catching your audio, but Windows is definitely worse.
Really?
And I've seen it drop it out just for no reason.
Well, she might try then, kind of like similar thing with Rodney with his video. She might try pressing the mute button and then pressing it again, seeing if maybe muting and unmuting fixes it. Either that, or she might have to go into her Windows audio settings and maybe switch inputs.
Yeah. She's using a headset that she's not used to using.
Gotcha. See, there for a long time, I can't remember which version of the OS it was that I was running when I first got it, and I think even in Snow Leopard. It came with Leopard on it, then I upgraded to Snow Leopard. It was fine. If I plugged in like a headset or headphones or something, it would auto switch to it. Then I upgraded to something, and that stopped working for a while. Then at some point, whenever I had the hard drive crashed, and Rodney put, I think it was Mountain Lion he put on there, and then I upgraded to El Capitan, that functionality came back. So
yeah, a lot of the audio is done in the kernel on Unix, and it's kind of a problem. Let me go in there and see if I can get her going.
Hey, Rodney, it's our chance to hijack the show.
What's that?
I said it's our chance to hijack the show. I'll talk about the photography stuff, and you talk about the Mac stuff.
Mac stuff.
Yeah. You're in that Mac group.
I am.
Yeah.
I'd say once we get some sound from Patty, we ought to turn it over to her and let's show her radar.
Definitely. Either that, or she can start doing.
She's still talking. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and I'll kick off so that way she can get on. So let me turn my sharing off. Alright, you should be seeing my beautiful face now.
Yes. And you're not blue or washed out.
Yeah. I had to turn the light towards the white wall. It actually did pretty good that way. And then I got some light in the back too. So.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm doing with this little desk lamp. Is I got pointed up to the corner where two walls and the ceiling comes together, and it bounces back. It's not super bright, but it's like a nice kind of soft light. And I don't have like an array of commercial lighting with soft boxes shining in my face where every minute I go, oh.
Is she talking now? Patty, hello?
Southern summer day.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
There she is.
We'll ditch the headset.
This headset.
I had trouble with it the other night. It's almost like new.
Turn your mic gain down.
Is that my mic reverberating too? If I have to put my headphones on my
Okay, is that better?
A little bit more.
Try me now.
Okay.
That sounds better.
Is mine pretty hot?
No, you and Franklin are good. Patty's was just kind of blowing the doors off stuff.
From nothing to all of it.
All right, Patty, I have let the screen go so that you can put your radar up. So you're welcome to screen share anytime.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I pulled up the velocities on this. It's bowed out pretty good, but unless it gains some steam here, it's not severe. There's still concern down here with this vortex signature. It's pretty pronounced.
All right, it's just mine's just now refreshing, so we'll see what happens here. There's a lot of there's a lot of rotation in that storm. Right, so that vortex signature is gone on my end.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, on the refresh, it's not there. But there's still some rotation in the storm for sure.
Yeah.
They just extended the warning. So when I first got on here, my first thought is that all of this convection that's coming out of Oklahoma, across Arkansas, into Tennessee, and will move on east tonight, is going to set the theme for tomorrow and suit the air for this area that is, let me find it here. I'm still a newbie with this. I guess it's still day 2. This area that is moderate for tomorrow.
That's the big game.
That's the big game tomorrow. And we are involved in that big game. Our entire area is going to be involved in that big game tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah.
we're in the marginal, right?
I think we're in advance, aren't we?
No, we're still in the marginal here. But
Okay.
day 1 has not come out for this. This is still day 2.
Okay.
In about an hour, about 2 hours, they should be releasing the new one. And that's the big show. That's a big, scary show. They're talking about long track tornadoes and probably big ones. I'm thinking Yazoo, Mississippi type outbreak.
Oh man, really? Oh,
Yeah, that's my take.
well, when they start using the term outbreak, that's when you start needing to be perking up your ears.
Yeah, and that's coming from the SPC. When they say
Yeah.
outbreak, then you get worried.
So what were the Cape levels? Were they like in 2300 or something like that?
For tomorrow, let me take a look. I'm trying to switch out of crisis mode into a different crisis mode here. Let me pull it up.
Hey Patty, do you still have national radar checked on?
Yes, I do.
I want to turn that off so it doesn't give you the composite under basic layers.
There you go. I got it. Oh, no, I don't. There it goes.
Yeah. Now turn that back on. There you go. Yeah. So that should be your actual radar information once it refreshes. Okay.
There we go. Okay. So in the day 2, the summary, an outbreak of severe thunderstorms appears likely Sunday into Sunday night, with the greatest threat expected from Louisiana through much of the southeast and Tennessee Valley. Strong tornadoes, potentially widespread damaging winds, and large hail are all possible.
Jeez.
So that was issued at 12:35 p.m. So yeah, they'll be coming out with one but sometime between 12:30 and 1 usually.
Is there a mezzo? There's another mezzo showing up just to the north of that.
Southwest of Stratford.
Not too far from Roth.
Roth. Oh, okay, Roth. Okay. Kind of northwest of Roth.
But I just looked at the velocity earlier, and it didn't look that strong.
Well, what I'm seeing on velocity there at the half-degree tilt is it's kind of in a channel of not really much information, and just to the southeast of that is greens, and just to the north and west of that is red. And like I said, there's kind of like this trough in between the greens and the red where it's still gray.
I'm not where you guys are talking about. I'm still looking at this southern storm here, looking at the attributes. Now, did you see this going on down by Waurika?
You're not sharing your screen.
I'm not?
Nope.
Yeah, somehow some got dropped. I didn't turn you off, but
That's been
it might have been because I pulled up another browser window and it might have kicked it.
it can.
Yeah,
Look at the rotation. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Look at right there near Waurika. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah, that is really strong couplets down there. Makes you wonder if that's going to be tornado warned or at least severe here pretty soon.
It's definitely gaining strength, and the hail in that is getting pretty radical.
It's probably building from that other storm because the other storm seems to be
weakening.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been pushing across pretty well.
Yeah, it has. It may just be in that same pocket of air that is very supercharged, and it's getting in there.
Yeah, because I mean, the dew points are still what, 54? Or is that temperature?
That is. That's temp. There's your dew points. Dew points aren't that fabulous, really, but. I'm curious to see the wind gusts with this.
As of an hour and a half ago, they're right in the mid 50s or upper 50s for dew points. 57, 58.
And 55 to 59, that's what I'm seeing.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Are you guys thinking that since we are in a slight risk now for day 2 that might be moved to an enhanced for tomorrow?
No, I'm not thinking that. I don't see it. Typically, and I can be wrong, they did move this back to the north a bit. But they're already focused on the area way to the southeast. I see that maintaining. But even with a slight risk, what our original forecasts were large hail, high wind, and anytime you get severe thunderstorms, you can have a tornado spin up. But I think the soup is going to be down south. Don't rule us out, but yeah, I'm real concerned about that area. Look at the hail and the leading into this thing. Or a possibility. I mean, there's a little bit of a hail signature there.
Oh, it was much more late earlier. When that right there by Paul's Valley, that push out in the line, when that happened, that hail went off the scale. It was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
There was even some on the velocity where it could not read it because it was so thick with stuff in the air.
Got a little bit of a meso building on the tail end Charlie down there.
Yeah, I saw that just pop up with a update.
I'm getting some artifacts here. Maybe I need to change my radar location. Let me see.
I'm thinking Western Oklahoma.
Yeah, okay. Look here, where you got this notch pushing in, and you're starting to get a little bit of a see there. So you've got two areas. This is where, you know, it pays to kind of pull out and watch, because you can get so focused on one that you lose track of. This one could be in a development stage here. Not so much of a notch here, but there's definitely something going on there.
By the way, Patty, I found that if you hit Control T, it automatically puts you into telestration mode where you can start drawing, and then you hit spacebar to clear it, and then Control T again, and it will allow you to go back into interact mode. So you don't have to go up to the menu all the time. It's just Control T.
So we have interesting area. Look at this.
Is that not ground clutter though?
I don't think so. This is down here where you got the purples. That is not.
Screen. You're talking about that couplet right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about the couplet right there. I'm not talking about the
for
purple.
some reason my screen like froze and I didn't see that.
And I have to wonder, and I didn't ask Mark last night or Thursday night, if sometimes, because the radar's back up here to the north, this is down south where it's not seeing. Is this top so tall that the and there's so much going on that the radar can't cut through it?
Very possible. What's the height on that? There's still a little bit of that rotation in the 1.8.
Let's go up and see. I'll need to go to reflectivity here. They're not even reading it up that high.
So just to be clear, that section is about 80 nautical miles from the radar site.
Right.
Think about 86 miles statute.
This is at about 35,000 feet, and it goes up beyond that. It's starting to get pretty weak up beyond that. So
It just doesn't have a tornadic signature on it, right? Is that why they're not running a warning on it?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's definitely a strong meso.
But not enough to put it in. Well, it's not even a severe thunderstorm.
No, it's not. This one is. This one is, and it's got a stronger meso signature in it. Look at the couplet forming here. Let me stop that. Right here.
Oh, yeah. I see that.
Is it enough for them? I'm at 0.9, so that's not surface based. It's still there, even at 80 miles.
Oh, it just
Goes
refreshed.
well, that goes well into, yeah, that's 1.8. That's 0.5.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant.
So we'll keep an eye on that. That could be
Yeah,
a
we
tornado.
definitely- Yeah, it doesn't say tornado, it's not saying radar confirmed, which it would.
Doesn't look like it's really doing that much of an appendage when you look at the reflectivity.
It doesn't, and it really doesn't, but it's got, look at that notch coming into it. It's definitely got inflow.
Yeah. It
And that
looks
just-
like it's split. That used to be a linear storm. Now it looks like it's splitting.
No. Haven't been on here long enough to make that call. Maybe this one's stalling a bit.
It appears
Let
that
me-
it kind of is.
Yeah, I just ran the loop on it. It's not moving very fast. In fact, what's the speed on that? It really doesn't even have a how that would go and it would give you the track and whatnot. It's not tied into anything there.
East at 33 miles an hour on that one. This one, oh, it's off that. No, I don't want the wind advisory. Thank you very much. Yeah, this doesn't have enough to give you more than it's got some hail in it.
But I guess it's not significant enough for them to issue a warning on it.
Evidently not. Let's see
So,
what velocity
okay.
says.
My understanding then, in order for it to be identified as severe, it would be winds in excess of, is it 50 or 60 mile an hour?
58 miles an hour.
Okay. And then you also have, if hail is larger than pea size,
No, if it's an inch, quarter size.
quarter size. Okay.
And this is saying, well, maybe. But that's what it's picking up here is what they're estimating the hail size to be in the cloud. That doesn't necessarily translate to what would be coming down to the ground.
Right, because it would
It's
melt.
coming down through a warm layer of air. There's going to be some melting.
Yeah.
So this is why the hail reports are important and accuracy is important because they'll track back to these scans and look at the time of the report and actually calibrate the machine so it says the right size.
Right. Right. And it's good to keep an eye on the height of, or the DZB of the hail, but that doesn't necessarily tell you size. I've seen them say ping pong size hail when it's been 65, and I've seen quarter size hail when it's 65 dBc. So depends on the air temperature and the wind in the cloud.
Now, the hail core in that storm that we're looking at has already increased. If you look at the reflectivity now, see down there just south of Heddleton, or Heldon, whatever it is.
Yeah, now they're saying you're no doubt going to be getting hail.
100%.
Now I'm surprised now they're not warning on this. But we don't have their level 1 either.
This is the Norman radar.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got another eye look on this. Where's the other closest radar to that?
That would be Wichita Falls.
Okay. That's going to be a little too far out. Well, no, it's not that much.
No, it's not that far out.
KFDR?
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm seeing. Let me see. KFDR.
Frederick's to the west. That's the Air Force Base.
All right, so they're doing a sweep right now. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, me to stop sharing so you can.
No, you're fine, Patty. I've got mine here. I'm just kind of looking to see.
So, what was the radar site for Wichita Falls?
KFDR. It's just to the east of Walters.
KF, like Frank?
Yeah, Kilo Frank Delta Alpha. There you are. Got it.
Ooh.
So when you have a storm warning that says like golf ball size hail, does that not mean it has the potential to produce that? Not necessarily what you will see within that storm?
Yeah, generally, and they'll word it that way, or they'll say hazards expected. You know, golf ball size hail, 70-mile-an-hour wind. And the other day they were saying that, and it was what, baseball size? So,
Well, see,
yeah.
that golf course is getting significantly
It's
larger.
not loading. Not loading that radar site. Come on, baby.
Huh. That's what it did to me earlier. I had it rough there. Let's see. Let me see what the size of that is. 62 dB. 63. You may have to go back to your old one, Patty. I don't know. I used all of it up.
Ah,
They only let so many.
Yeah, I'm stealing away from you. I'm over on College of DuPage looking at level 2.
yeah, and I'm on level 2, so we don't even have bandwidth for both of us on level 2. Let me.
Oh, that's
It-
probably what it is.
It is no, that's not the case. Our download bandwidth is way much more than our upload.
Well, I just went to level 3 and it loaded up. So, hey,
Take what you can get.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And the hill core, it was
Come
more
on.
pronounced on the last scan. It's starting to kind of dissipate a little bit.
No, I'm not going to get level 2.
Dang. That tail end storm down there is absolutely going nuts with lightning. Well, the whole thing is, but it's really going nuts.
So, time to readjust thinking. This is level 3 radar. So, you can see the difference. I'm quite enamored of level 2. You see so much more of the storm features.
Oh, yeah.
So just that little bit down there at by Ardmore is 30 strikes per minute of lightning.
Jeez.
That's cooking. And it's the north end of it that's doing it the most.
So it's hovering right over where I camped. Cook's Cabins. You didn't get to go, Steve. They didn't give you the time off till I was down there.
Oh. What was that? Is bad weather around? Not for us.
Patty, do you know the county name for Oklahoma City?
I think it's Oklahoma County. Been a while since I lived down there.
But I never have, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me look through here. Yeah, it's Oklahoma County.
Yeah, I just now got a Google search on it.
They don't have a Skywarn feed.
I am going to go ahead and see where our neighbors. There is still a very strong storm in Kansas that I'm going to go and just kind of do some looking at here.
There's 3.
Yeah.
4.
Let me tee up my radar. Yeah, so that same line is still just hammering those guys. And it is not moving very fast at all, Steve.
No, it's just sitting there. It starts right there at the... Well, the Cicely and Nathan used to live in Wakefield. And me and Patty kind of made the loop around the north end of the base and went right through that first leading edge of that storm.
Why is KTOP not listed in here?
Because that's not what they are.
Topeka?
Yeah.
The one I have is KTWX.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've
KTWX.
got for Topeka too.
Okay.
The radar site in the middle of the field.
Yeah. So, where are we at here?
And
This is all before you get to the. Oh, this is north of where the kids were. They
Yeah.
used to live here. The base is here, and we like to eat at a place here in Manhattan. This is getting on up towards Centralia. If you go much further north, it's actually Nebraska. Getting real close to Leavenworth.
First down here.
That's somewhere we didn't visit.
Leavenworth.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to see that place.
Well, I am showing on my radar scope Fort Riley North. Is that about where he was actually stationed at?
Yeah.
He actually, they lived in Clay Center too, or just outside of Clay Center. That's where Wakefield is. He actually, the group that he was stationed with, his offices were in North Riley. If you go even north of what they call North Fort Riley, there's actually where the training all takes place. It's kind of cool. You drive along the road down there, and they've got big, tall towers where the observers are at.
Oh, God. They were Apple Cube is probably an interesting place to go to.
No, that one, the most interesting part, it's the old tanks laying alongside the road that had holes shot in them. That was pretty cool.
Would some of those holes have been made with shells containing depleted uranium tips by chance?
I'm not sure if they used that on training rounds. I'm not real positive.
I never quite got what the deal was with that until I had it explained to me one time. The reason that they use the depleted uranium tips is because it's so much denser material, it will actually do armor better than normal shells.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like similar to tungsten.
So, Patty, if you look at the hail core just to the west of McCouth or McLouth, it's 68.5 dB.
This one?
No, move more to your east.
Oh, that one. Right.
No, even down lower. Do you see down there under where it says Winchester?
Okay.
Oskaloosa. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Oskaloosa.
Oskaloosa.
Now, the city just to the west earlier I was debating, is that Oswaka? Or Oswaki?
Ozaki.
Ozaki?
Let's see.
70 dB.
There we go.
Wow.
Interesting. I lost my tracks. There we go.
What the heck?
Moving 24 mile an hour. It says in here, order size hail.
Yeah, they're not moving very fast. I mean, 24 mile an hour, that's going to dump a lot of rain.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Or as the water park in Branson used to say, ooh-wee, that's a whole lot of water.
Interesting.
Now, if they have this strong of storms now, and that front's moving to the south, is that going to be why we're probably in the moderate enhancement?
We're going to warm up tomorrow and have the instability here.
Just not
to probably kick that off. I don't know how fast that front's moving. One thing that I liked about GR that I don't like about this is it'll tell you on these cold fronts if it's a trough, if it's a front, and some indication of movement on it. We don't get that in here. It's just there's a cold front of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again, Heather.
I I didn't hear it either.
I don't know why I'm not hearing it. My phone's
Say
on
that
vibration.
again, Heather. Well,
Well, can you go back and just listen to what she said?
Hey, Patty, good to hear you.
nope, not that one.
Kind of falling apart a little bit on Chester. Hey, Patty, good to hear you. Are you guys thinking...
That's weird.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember the...
Hang on.
years
Where are
ago
these?
there, man, you start getting into old commercials there, Franklin.
I don't think I can find it.
Well, here's the last transmission she did.
Okay, stop now.
Oh, I was just saying to Franklin, you're coming...
It won't.
Oh, I was just saying to Franklin, you're coming across old commercials again.
She's saying to Franklin, you're coming across old commercials again.
Yes.
Oh, a whole lot of water. Remember, she was talking. That's what she was referring to.
Instead of old time radio, it's old time commercials.
So somebody said that this is weakening, and they're right. They're starting to drop the warnings. They're not extending them.
Storm. Please exercise caution.
I'm horrible.
It does look like they're letting it drop. I can start to see a little bit of weakening for sure. Yeah, let's take a look at it now. Let's see, when are they allowed to expire? Let me get in there.
Ooh. Okay.
Expires 12 a.m.
Yeah, so another 15 minutes roughly. They probably won't let those, unless they build up as they go across the state border. I doubt it. Let's take a look.
There is a bit of a ridge. These are riding that ridge. Steve, if you recall, when we went up toward Clay Center and then went east, we kind of rode along that ridge on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, 159 and up in there.
Because that's running
So
right
they're-
on
they're
the
kind
north
of-
end of the shooting range.
Yeah.
And they're not shooting at clay targets either.
Oh my.
No, they're shooting at old equipment. The best story, though, came out of Fort Hood, and it was Nathan when he first got his shadow, and he would go out on the range and ride. They had some roads out there that he had access to, and the Blackhawks would come in behind him, and they were using him for target. He followed them to their landing area out on the range, and he said, "Were you using me for a target?" And they're like, "Yeah, we don't often get to track a moving target."
Yes.
Oh.
We shot you dead.
For those that you don't know, that's a 750 Honda motorcycle. So he was riding a motorcycle and they were doing that shit to him. God.
And he's a tanker. He doesn't get to target back.
I bet he could shoot down a helicopter if he tried.
I bet he could.
All right, so
It would
just a
probably
heads up, things are starting to kind of open up in our area. There's a small cell just to the northwest of Bolivar. It's not anything big, but we need to keep an eye out because it looked like things are starting to move in our direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they were saying is overnight we've got a chance of some storms.
Yeah.
But the big concern is tomorrow afternoon.
Oh yeah, I get that. But
Yeah,
didn't
and
they
see,
say in that particular area there would be stronger storms?
So this is all moving in. We've got storms. We got the leading edge of stuff moving into McDonald and Berry counties down here. So we need to keep an eye on that too. Look at this one down by Pryor.
Are you going to be jumping on Skywarn, or will?
Yeah, I've got to go to bed. I've got another 12-hour shift.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I have got to be rough and ready for in the morning. We've been busy. I had a text message earlier from a family member, and I never even got back to them today. So,
Oh my.
and tomorrow's a big paperwork day for me. So, hey, it is what it is.
Man, that's a pretty serious amount of rain down just south of Harrison.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be darned. I did not see that one sneaking up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. I don't have level 3 set for a slower speed yet. I will get it all adjusted. I'm spoiled. I want my level 2. That won't load.
Excuse me.
It's probably
It's
because
moving pretty quick.
everybody's downloading from College of DuPage or from Iowa State or from the other one, Allison House.
Yeah, these cells are going to be in our area probably within the next 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Not our area, but Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, it's going to cross the border as a big line from the south. That's pretty crazy. Who does have net control for regional?
George, overnight.
All right.
We just got a new Graphicast published. Let's see what it says. Oh, it hasn't loaded up yet.
When does the SPC put their stuff out?
Between 12:30 and 1 generally.
Okay, well, they put out SPC's put out a Tornado Watch 102 that's in Texas from about Del Rio east to over San Antonio. And they've had 100 and 101 going forever. And, oh, nope, here we go. So that area that you guys were looking at, the tail end of that storm down there in Oklahoma?
Right.
The SPC has issued a severe thunderstorm watch in that area. See what their timing is. That's severe thunderstorm watch 103 if you're counting.
Is that 103 based on how many has happened in the year?
Yeah.
Yes. It starts with 1 in January.
Oh, it's a sequential thing. I
Yep.
got you.
And we actually had tornado watch number 1
Yep.
some years ago.
That's when it hit, the tornado hit downtown at Harry Cooper.
we had Greene County Skywarn had reputation that every time we had spotter training, we had some kind of weather, winter weather, a winter weather advisory would be issued, or tornado watches would be issued, or something. We had a tornado watch, and mind you, the temperatures were in the upper 40s. They dropped the watch, and then the tornado hit. Within, 10 minutes, 15?
Yeah.
It hopped, skipped, and jumped across town. It hit some apartments off of Republic Road. It hit trees at no, I've got two separate things going. You're right. No, the one for Harry Cooper, that was in January.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that had those insane 97 mile an hour straight line winds.
I can remember that because that was about a week before Grandma passed away, and she passed away on January 12th.
Jeff Morrissey was out spotting, and he had an anemometer on his SUV that registered 97 mile an hour as that blew through. And it actually touched down once at Bennett and Kansas Expressway. It spun another spotter. It touched down again at Harry Cooper. But there was damage down Grand. I think they missed one because there were things that were all askew in all different directions. I think they had maybe a little one there. But yeah, I was at the Weather Service for Tornado Watch #1 when we still had net controls out there, and we almost took cover. They were talking about the storm room. It's the break room, by the way. It's foot-thick walls.
Jeez.
I was standing out in the yard just kind of...
There we go. So, 11:51 p.m. Highest rain chances along and south of Interstate 44 overnight. Occasional lightning and small hail possible. Rainfall amounts generally around a half inch.
You gonna post that on Spotters?
I am. I'm doing that now. Oh, good gravy. How many text messages did I miss here? Sorry, folks. I'm tired. I'm one-tracking. Sorry, Heather. I didn't get back to you, honey. My brain only does one thing at a time when I'm this tired. I have a coworker that works on Saturday night, and he's been with us 3.5 years, and he still doesn't know how to do his job. And I'm team lead, so I have to take him by the hand. So I'm doing my work, his work. I just want to walk out of the office sometimes.
Just hope he doesn't watch this feed.
He won't. I have never friended him. He's requested it. I'll chat with him once in a while. That's as far as it goes. He's an interesting character. He's got an interesting history, but his ability, when he only works 1 day a week, and he had trouble with it to begin with. He was struggling. So, back to warnings. Warning list. Wasn't that KMDX down there? Nope, that was up north. What do we got going there?
It's Iowa.
Yeah.
Another Ottumwa. That's Radar O'Reilly's hometown.
Oh,
There's actually an Oskaloosa just north of it, so.
Yeah, they got a little bit of a
They had
cell
something.
gone.
Looks like it was there and it was gone. Let's go. That's Quad City radar, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Or Kansas. No, that's too far out for Kansas City. They're kind of in the dead zone, but that's Quad City.
No,
Look at
DMX, Cedar Rapids. Or
Look
I mean,
at
Des
the
Moines.
winter weather up here. This is another good indicator of strong weather for the day. Here's your cold front. This is all winter weather advisories.
yeah. we figured out
On the north end of this. And so you got this potential for extremely severe weather with this. This is a typical spring setup.
Okay, yeah, I see the front now.
I need to turn national radar back on.
Does it show on that where the low is?
No, not really. It doesn't. I was reading something. It doesn't have the ability to bring the letters in, so you don't really see that. But yet, if you look at the weather pattern, this is the right here would be your low. One of them. There's probably multiple. I'm guessing this is the dry line.
Yeah, and that's been
And-
moving north.
You have a warm front here, and I don't know what direction this is traveling. Get this thing in motion here a bit. Come on, level 3, load it up. That's a pretty serious winter storm going on up there. Now, I said that's the dry line. What's this? Would that be the dry line? I don't know this
No.
software yet.
No, it's actually going. It's cutting off through the west side of Texas. Your yellow.
Yeah,
You see the yellow line there?
this.
That's the dry
This
line.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
yeah.
You said no. So.
Well, I had to think a minute
Mm.
because I'm
Gotcha.
on a different page. I'm on that pivotal weather, and it shows the dry line as a huge drop in the dew point. Like from
It is. Look at this. Look at this. You're right. You've got 57, 54, 57, and you've got 18,
right.
27, 19, 10. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a major drop.
Excuse me.
And then it goes up and kind of zigzags through Kansas and up through, diagonally through Iowa.
Which is where all this is going on.
We got this huge curved shape of moisture coming up out of the Gulf that's causing all this. So, just so you know.
So
All right, I turned your downtime off for tonight, but I'm turning it back on tomorrow
Okay.
because you have school.
So there's your little cell in Iowa.
Oh yeah. So
Don't stay up tonight.
what is theta E?
I am not familiar with what that term means. Guess we could look it up.
Ugh.
I missed that. I'm sorry. I was talking to my daughter. What
Theta
was-
E.
Advection. Skew T. Look at the theta E. Equivalent potential temperature. Oh, I don't even get that. I can't even say those words.
So look what happened to the bow on this. It's falling apart. All this is falling apart.
Is it because it's moving into a more stable air mass?
Probably. You have a lot of convection out ahead of it that's probably washed out the atmosphere. Which is why they're not anticipating us to have severe storms tonight. All this convection's washed out. What's going to happen, it's going to bring the moisture up into our area, and tomorrow afternoon when the sun comes out and the instability returns, but that's when we have bada bang, bada boom.
What is your 2M setting? So you'll see like 2M temperature, 2M dew point. What does 2M mean?
Did you hear that, Patty?
I did, and I'm not real sure where that's at in here. I'm looking.
Is it under MRS data? No.
I'm looking under mesoanalysis.
What is the where the 2M that you're looking at? Where's that located?
The 2M is in model.
There you go.
That is some warm air mass right in that area.
Yeah.
So I sort of answered my own questions about theta E, and it kind of indicates
It's under the mod tab.
it indicates where there's a high level of instability. Well, I put it, a region with a relatively high theta E is often the region with the most instability. Warmer low-level temperatures and higher low-level dew points increase instability.
Oh, so it's like basically including the eggs with the recipe.
Exactly. You know. Well, you know, we all think about CAPE and, you know, the holicity, in other words, how much it's got a twist as an indicator. That kind of puts all that together.
Yeah.
This is 500 millibar winds. So this is the winds in the atmosphere. You can see
The jet stream.
Yeah, that's way up there. It's got 1,000 millibars on the ground, and that's halfway to space. Which is probably not true, but sounds good.
850 millibar winds. Interesting.
A theta E ridge. These are regions with higher theta E. They often the burst point for convective activity.
Patty, go back down into Oklahoma City. Did they just issue another thunderstorm warning down there?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Looks like it. Or that,
So that appendage cycled up, didn't it?
It did. And come on back. KOUN?
I think so. I'm gonna go over to it real quick here.
Yep. $60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail.
Bang.
Yep. It hit the criteria.
Stop that.
Yeah, that's a mean little storm. The hill core on it's also is built up too.
I just killed the national radar. It'll take it a minute to reload. It actually runs better in national radar than it does on the local for whatever reason.
Well, you're looking at a composite stitched together when you're doing the national radar, so it doesn't have as much information. It's just basically giving you a brief scan. All right, Franklin, I need you to pronounce this name. It's Tishomingo?
Tishomingo.
Tishomingo. Yeah.
Okay. I was just keeping you awake.
No, I'm still here. I was fiddling around with my Skype settings, and then I accidentally did something that completely took all my video and everything away, and I couldn't even get back to my contacts and stuff, so I had to close it and open it back up.
So it says KOUN, but there is no KOUN. That's one thing I do not like about this.
So it's not giving it actually to you?
It doesn't give me the actual because there's no KOUN in the list.
But that's still not, that's in the Oklahoma City radar unit.
I think that's KOKX.
You think it's a typo, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know what.
I mean, I'm using the radar down in Fort Worth.
I can find that one.
KFWS.
Right. KFDR.
Frederick, Oklahoma is KFDR.
Yep, there we go. And load up. I'm going to go back to National Radar because it doesn't want to load up the local. There we go.
Well, these people in and out of chat and nothing's going on.
They're not saying anything?
Nope. Nobody said anything for, Newsbot issued a area forecast discussion, and a new Graphicast has been issued or published.
Yeah, I posted that. So, you hit me up earlier with somebody they were asking about. Did you ever get a call sign on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. KD0 Bravo November Victor. Andy Bean. I thought you knew that name.
No.
No, I don't think I've heard it either.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. Oh, QRZ.com. Show's active. He's in town. Technician.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of people that try to sign up for chat that we don't know. Looking to see if.
I think we're going to get more rain than they're thinking. If you go to the Tulsa radar, it's just filling the screen. It's starting to go wide. Look at that mess. Of course, I'm looking at composite, but it's still got a lot of moisture moving in.
Well, there's moderate to slightly heavy rain all the way from Fairfax down to McAllister. Then there's a big line of looks like moderate to heavy rain moving north from McAllister, going up past west of Muskogee, kind of up to the broken area.
Yeah. Yep. So we're just going to increase the flooding reports on the Mississippi.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else going on, it fills that 20 RSS feeds with just nothing but Mississippi flood reports, and apparently it's coming down from Iowa. There's a whole bunch of it from melting snow, and it's just like, oh boy. Better tie your barges up. You're going to lose them all.
Huh. So what is Tulsa radar?
TINX.
Yeah.
Or KINX. Sorry.
I thought you said PINX.
T like K like Kilo, India, November X-ray. That's just crazy. Look at all that.
Those storms are all over the place.
Yeah.
Those are all individual cells.
Yeah, they are.
That is just crazy. Do you usually hear from George this early in the night?
If there's something going on, George will be there.
He usually takes over, I think, around 12, and usually someone takes over for him if there's activity around 6.
Would he identify himself on NWS chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in. I had to think about for a second if he's in chat, but he is in chat because usually he will message me and ask if I can take over whenever he's going to do something else. He'll do a private chat in NWS chat.
Yeah, but that line that's in a bow right there was actually 2 individual lines earlier.
I actually have not looked at chat all evening.
What have I done? I made a change here.
I don't see George in there in the list unless
He's not.
the
He's not.
the Pettis County Sheriff's in there.
He's always in there.
Too bad we can't send him a virtual donut.
Eh, I don't know what I have done to this thing. I'm not seeing my sweeps.
Oh no.
There's Franklin. What's the shortcut in Pigeon to change your name? Because I noticed you did that, Franklin.
You'll have to ask Patty. I only use Pigeon on Linux, and I'm hardly on it.
You're supposed to do
It's-
it before you go into the chat room.
Right. And mine, if I chat with somebody, it shows that I'm actually Skywarn 1, but it doesn't show me that way on the side of the chat, which is really bizarre. But yeah, you're supposed to change that before you go in.
Well, you see, I did, and it doesn't show up in the list. And when I just message you direct, it shows it.
Yeah, I think when you change just like your nickname, it only shows up in the chat whenever you're in the it still shows up. What
Not necessarily. If I'm using the program on my phone,
Yeah.
it shows me as Skywarn 1. If I'm using Pigeon, it does not unless I'm in chat.
Then maybe it varies from program to program.
Although other people have been able to change it and it sticks. So I don't know. I can't explain it.
There is an input that you do on the chat itself to change the name that shows, because we used to use it at Teletech when we had Pigeon. You can also use Google Translate and do it in Russian.
In another Russia, Google Translate you.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks like more people have left than have stayed, so nobody's impressed with the weather. There's NWS Topeka. And NWS Kansas City, Pamela Murray. No show cop. That's funny.
You've got the bot, the NWS bots in there.
Yeah.
The bot's
Well,
always there.
We may want to call it a night and get some rest and do it tomorrow. Might be a long day.
We'll
I'm
do it
thinking-
exactly at 12:30. Don't just stop it right now. Let's at least give it a
Even cutoff.
even number. You know, we got to plug ourselves for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well,
Okay,
you
so
know,
let's take a look at what's going on nationally before we go.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We're again we've pulled it off. We did at least what I think of as pretty cool stuff to see. We're not the most knowledgeable weather bunch on the group, but we enjoy what we're doing, so that's what's important.
Yes.
So, like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
For your friends. Hit the notification, the subscribe and the bell to get your notifications here, or somewhere down there.
Here. Oh, look down here. Here.
But subscribe. And we're going to do this again. We're going to get better at it as we go.
Yeah, so we're going to see you in the next one.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You've been watching Viva Fry too much.
No, I've been watching any YouTube channel that puts out any amount of content. That's the only thing that irks me. I'm like, can't you come up with something different? Everyone just said, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. You know what?
Well, I got to show my pretty face before we go. I've been showing my radar this whole time, and I've just been a voice. So,
You know what?
look forward to
Of the
the
weather.
next one.
People prefer me as just a voice.
Most of the weather live feeds I'm seeing, you don't see anybody's face. They're just voices. So they're not even using Skype. They're just using something like Mumble as an audio input.
Some of them will
Right.
get like a little window down in the corner, but a lot of them, they just do audio over sharing.
Now, I'm going to call out a group that used to have a show called The Debris Show. And to be honest with you, I missed The Debris Show.
I did too. Especially the chats that went on.
It was like abusive chasers. I don't know, something like that. It was funny.
It was like all uncensored, uncut words you will not hear us use on this channel.
Well, I don't know.
Not unless
Things
we can
get
help
kinda
it.
Crazy. You may just have to bleep us, Steve.
There's no bleeping. This is not a channel made for kids.
Rodney says a dirty word, and we hear you are approaching a twisting
Wait a
storm."
minute.
Yeah.
Why do you seem to say that I'm the one that says the dirty word?
I'm going to be the one that does it.
I had jokes.
I'm going to drop the F-bomb when I get a something, and I'm like, oh. And see, I haven't created anything to, like, cut away from you guys to go, oh, wait a minute, I got this crazy live feed that you need to see, you know?
By the way, color test.
So, I mean, all I have is the start slate, which is a bright red tornado, and you guys.
Have you got us some lead-in music and all that stuff?
Didn't even have that. I just threw it up there. But this is number one. This is the first
This
episode.
Episode one. Episode one.
Yep. And we included the Zello feed, which you heard Heather on. And
Yes.
for a short time, we had Sky Warren from Oklahoma and our own local repeater, which that's just going to be on there no matter what because they're just right here by the microphone.
Right?
It's part of what makes us what we are in the first place. We are hams.
We don't even have to tie the local repeaters in. They're just background.
They're just there, yeah. And it was funny the other day when we did that and everybody was listening to the 9-1, I'd hear an ID and everybody heard it.
It must be turned down in here because I haven't heard it kick since I've been home.
I have mine off. I didn't want to cause any interference.
But
I have not tried on.
we do need to educate Cade on how the 4.9 works. I don't think he gets to hear that.
I think he has tried. I just don't know if he's not.
I don't think he's close enough to the Joplin repeater to pick it up.
I think he's kind of in a hole area, and he's just not receiving it.
Well, there is Broadcastify.
True.
And
This is true.
we got
Oh, and I forgot to tell that guy tonight he could listen on Broadcastify too.
there's such
So,
a
yeah.
delay.
The All-Star
if you want other ways to hear us and see us, we broadcast during severe weather on the 14549 repeater that has an Echolink feed. So if you're a ham, you can get on that. Please do not interrupt during severe weather if you're out of the area, but you're welcome to listen.
Well,
There is a Broadcastify feed for the local spotters as well as for the regional. And so they're both under Southwest Missouri. And you can find N0NWS and W0EBE would be the things to look for there. We have a Zello channel, but that's for spotters only. So the best way is probably Broadcastify. You're not interfering with anything. You can hear us there. Can't see us there, but you can hear us there.
and that
Or watch here.
that doesn't burn up bandwidth on the Echolink feeds.
Right.
The Echolink feeds are for locals. They're for here. So
Yeah. The better way would be Broadcastify. And that's for the public too. If you want awareness of the severe weather in Southwest Missouri and our 3 counties in Southeast Kansas, that's where you're going to get it. And you could listen and be aware. And you can pick that up on a phone or on a tablet or on a laptop or desktop. So that's my take.
Hey, she played well.
So,
But,
anyway.
I mean, it all comes back to we're all learning. We're going to have people that are enthusiasts about the weather. We've got young and old. And it's going to be one of those things where it's still a learning experience. So even if you join us in midstream and you have no clue what we're talking about, stick around. You might learn something. And if you don't learn anything, well, then I don't know. But, I mean, I learn something every time we broadcast. So,
We're learning from each other, and that's as important as anything. Sitting by yourself, you can kind of mumble through, but if you have someone to bounce things off of, the learning curve goes up exponentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it just, tomorrow's going to be exciting. We understand that the weather's going to be rather turbulent. Is that how they would use it?
I would say that's a good word for it.
An outbreak. It's an outbreak.
Yeah. So don't be surprised if you catch us on tomorrow, in between Easter activities, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, I don't think.
So, Steve, are you wanting us to just take turns signing off? Is that what you want us to do?
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll just close out the feed, and we're good to go. So give me a 73.
Okay,
73 from KD0AEL.
73 from K0FZ. And see y'all later.
From KD0RXJ.
And 73 from KA0SPM, your producer of this crazy stream. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.